Hi everyone, welcome to day 2 of our article on the novel Want for English for You. I'm Kat.
I'm Elsie.
And we're talking about the life of Miss Elizabeth. We don't know her last name. Her name's just Elizabeth.
回到 Elizabeth 的故事，我们昨天看到了什么呢？ What did we learn yesterday?
Well, Elizabeth is, she seems to have it all. She is white, middle class, she lives in the US, she has a family, she has a husband who loves her, she has a job. People told her she could follow her dreams and be fine, so she got a literature degree.
However, what happened?
Well, now she's in a dead-end job that she hates.
And she has a lot of debt?
Yeah, they're in serious debt. They have to actually file for bankruptcy, so life is actually not all that good.
So she didn't become a professor like she wanted?
Yeah.
And she is teaching in charter school now?
Yeah, 1 day a week.
1 day a week, once a week.
Yeah. So that's what we know about her life so far. It seems like it's not that rosy. So we're trying to find out what she and her husband are going to do about their terrible financial situation. So let's go on and learn about what else is going on in Elizabeth's life and if she can find a way to solve her problems. Let's take a look now.
Reading.
Want. In spite of being one of the few white employees at work and therefore being treated with a certain privilege, Elizabeth hates her job. In fact, she often leaves work early, escaping to wander around bookstores or read in cafes. She gets lost in her thoughts, wondering how her life turned out this way. She frequently considers asking her wealthy parents for money. She tried that once before, though. They refused, as they knew Elizabeth would never pay it back. She also imagines contacting her former friend Sasha. Elizabeth abandoned Sasha's friendship a few years ago, but she's finally grasping how badly she wants it back. She feels like Sasha would understand her problems and help her figure out what to do. Unfortunately, when Elizabeth does reach out, she learns that Sasha has her own problems to fix. Elizabeth doesn't know what to do. Aside from one last credit card, she's basically penniless and lacking friendship and meaning to her life. The books she loves aren't helping. In fact, her dream to live a life of literature appears to be destroying everything she's ever hoped for.
All right, so our article begins today by saying, in spite of being one of the few white employees at work and therefore being treated with a certain privilege, Elizabeth hates her job.
Okay, but she was being treated with a certain privilege.
Right. So privilege here is, not a reason she would hate her job, but maybe a reason she wouldn't hate her job. Privilege is a noun that means a special right or ability given only to a certain group of people, where other people who don't have it might suffer because of it. So, for example, Elizabeth has white privilege. That means while her life is hard, her being white is not a reason that it's hard. But if you were black, for example, that might be a reason your life is hard because people treat you unfairly. Pretty privilege is also a thing. If you are pretty or handsome, you get better treatment than people who are not. So privilege doesn't have to only mean social things, though. Like you might think of the privileges you get at home, like playing games after you finish your homework. This is not something you have a right to, but it's something given to you. That's a privilege. Like when you maybe hear your parents say, "It's a privilege to give you video games. It's not your right," that sort of thing. That means that's, something given to you. So privileges and rights are different things. All people are supposed to have equal rights, but those with more power often have greater privilege. So an example is, growing up in a wealthy family, Eric is used to a certain amount of privilege that most others don't have.
Privilege 指的是特权或是特别待遇。那 Elizabeth 这边有的是 white privilege，她是白人，所以她有一些特别的待遇。那再来呢，我们还看到了今天的英文练功房里面的用法，我们要说到的是 despite 跟 in spite of 的用法。Despite 是个介系词。In spite of 是一个介系词片语，它们都是用来表达尽管虽然，后面必须要接名词或是动名词哦。所以课文当中你看到的是 in spite of being， 后面加的是动名词 being。那这边给同学们例句咯。For example, despite Or in spite of the rain, she still went out. 尽管下雨，她还是出门了。或者是我们可以说Despite or in spite of having so many friends, he still feels lonely sometimes. 尽管有这么多朋友，他有时候还是觉得孤单。那注意哦，刚刚两个例句都证明了后面我们只能加名词或是动名词。那如果你要加的是子句怎么办呢？你必须要在子句前面加上 the fact that 作为介系词的受词。For example, despite or in spite of the fact that my brother is not allowed to play video games, he still does it when my parents are not around. 尽管我弟弟不能够打电动，他还是趁我爸妈不在的时候做这件事情。那我们也可以依照句意呢，把它改成从属连接词 although 或是 though 的用法。所以刚刚那个例句，我们也可以说 Although my brother is not allowed to play video games, he still does it when my parents are not around. 那回到课文来，我们说到呢，尽管工作上他是少数的白人员工之一，也因此受到特别待遇，但是 Elizabeth 她还是讨厌她的工作。She still hates her job.
Yeah, I mean, you have a right to hate your job if your job is terrible. So even though Elizabeth has a certain level of privilege as a white person, she still hates her job. And the article says, in fact, she often leaves work early, escaping to wander around bookstores or read in cafes. Now that tells you something about how she thinks of her job because she wants to escape from it. Now escape means to try and get away from a situation you don't like or that is unsafe. So she escapes the job that she hates. To wander also means to walk around with no special goal. So she'll go to the bookstore and just look at the books and, kind of not be looking for any one thing, but she'll just walk around and look. That's what wander means.
Wandered around 代表的是闲逛、闲晃，所以事实上呢 ，Elizabeth 她常常提早离开公司，逃去书店闲逛，或是到咖啡厅阅读。So she still loves reading.
Yeah, of course. I mean, once you love something, it's hard to, stop loving it.
Right.
So what does she do? She gets lost in her thoughts, wondering how her life turned out this way. Where did I go wrong?
Who am I?
What am I going to do?
Where am I?
So getting lost in your thoughts is kind of what we're doing here. It means you're paying attention to whatever's in your head and you're not really paying attention to the world around you so much. It's like daydreaming a little bit.
Okay, like daydreaming. So get lost in one's thoughts 或者是 be lost in one's thoughts 代表的是陷入沉思。所以例句我们可以说啊 He sometimes gets lost in his thoughts and doesn't know what's going on around him. 他有的时候呢会陷入沉思，不知道周遭发生了什么事情。Okay, and we also saw the word wonder.
Oh, sorry, I was lost in my thoughts.
你刚刚在沉思啊 Okay, what about this word wonder? W-O-N-D-E-R.
Yeah, so it's not wander, but wonder. Let's find out what that means. To wonder is a verb that's different from to wander. So to wonder with a O means to think about, what if this were true? Or think about something you'd like to know about. If you say, I wonder where my friend is, it means I'm curious about where my friend is. I don't know, but it'd be interesting to know. I kind of want to know, where's my friend? Wondering is a way we get lost in our thoughts. It leads us down a lot of, I don't know, but what if kind of paths in our head. Elizabeth probably wonders, what if my life had been different? What happened to me? That kind of thing. So that's what she wonders. And as an example, after COVID-19 shut the world down, everyone wondered when life would go back to normal.
Wonder 这个动词呢是疑惑、想知道。注意哦，跟刚刚我们学到的闲逛 wonder 是不一样的哦。那这边给同学们一个例句 I'm wondering if you can come pick me up. 我在想你是否可以来接我。或者是呢，我们可以说 They wondered why their child lied to them. 他们疑惑，他们想知道为什么孩子欺骗他们。那回到课文来呢，我们说到他陷入沉思，疑惑为什么他的人生最后会变成这样。
So she wonders, where did my life go so wrong? She frequently considers asking her wealthy parents for money.
Okay, she considers doing something. 代表她think about doing something, 也就是考虑做某事。那这边考虑的是 asking somebody for money, 跟某个人要钱。所以 Elizabeth 她常常考虑要跟她富有的爸妈要钱 because she has no money.
Yeah, exactly. She has negative money. They're in the red. She tried that once before, though.
她有试过一次。
They refused, as they knew Elizabeth would never pay it back. Because she's in big debt.
没错，他们拒绝了，因为他们知道 Elizabeth 不会还钱 ，Elizabeth 还欠债。那这边的 as 是个连接词哦，表示因为带出原因。
I find that kind of weird. Don't you think if her parents are wealthy, that
Why didn't they help her?
yeah, like if they're not going to lose a lot by helping her, then why not help her? Because in the end, they're probably going to give her the money when they die anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess it's a different kind of thought.
Or maybe they didn't like her husband,
Or
so they didn't want to help them.
I don't know. Or maybe just they thought like, oh, this is going to hurt our lives, so, you have to figure it out on your own. You have to be independent, which I think is a lot of what older parents think of, their adult children. They want them to be independent, and so they don't want to help them too much, which is fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what else does Elizabeth think of for a possible solution to her problem? She also imagines contacting her former friend Sasha.
OK， 他想象做一件事情 ，imagine doing something。注意哦，后面要加上的是 VING 的用法。那他想象什么呢？他还去想，是不是可以 contacting Sasha 去联系他以前的那个朋友 Sasha。But why is Sasha her former friend?
Well, I guess they're not friends anymore because former means not anymore. So Elizabeth abandoned Sasha's friendship a few years ago, but she's finally grasping how badly she wants it back. So to abandon something is to leave something or somebody behind when they still need you or still want you around.
Abandon 这个动词代表抛弃、遗弃。那几年前呢 ，Elizabeth 抛弃了与 Sasha 之间的友谊。Why did she do that?
Well, we don't know, but apparently she's now grasping that she really wants to be friends with Sasha again. So let's find out what grasp means. To grasp something usually literally means to grab it with your hand. But in this case, it's figurative. It means to finally understand something that you had a hard time understanding before, kind of like to grab it with your mind. For example, I'm terrible at math, so when I grasp a new idea about it, I feel excited. It doesn't just mean you learn it from your teacher, it means your mind really understands it. Also, realize is another word for this. So if Elizabeth is now grasping how much she wants Sasha's friendship back, it means she's finally understanding how valuable and how important it was to her. So an example sentence might be, I'm learning Spanish now, and I'm just starting to grasp what people are saying to me in conversations.
Grasp 这个动词呢，有抓住、理解或是领悟的意思。那如果解释为理解或领悟，我们也可以用 realize 来代替。So she's finally grasping how badly she wants it back. 她终于领悟到她有多想要找回这段友谊。我们也可以说 she's finally realizing how badly she wants it back. Badly 这个副词在这边当作 very much.
Yeah, so she really wants Sasha's friendship back. She understands now. She feels like Sasha would understand her problems and help her figure out what to do. So to figure out something means to solve a problem, to get a solution. If you figure out something, it means you're like, aha, I got it.
So to figure out 代表理解、想出。So for example, I need to figure out a way to deal with this serious problem 代表我需要想出一个办法来处理这个难题。课文这边呢 ，Elizabeth 她以为 Sasha 会了解她的问题，并且帮她想出办法。
Unfortunately,
Uh-oh.
when Elizabeth does reach out, she learns that Sasha has her own problems to fix. Yeah, that's probably a common case. You go to a friend for help and your friend needs help too. Unfortunately, this is a verb that means, or not a verb, an adverb that means sadly or without any luck. So it means that she didn't have any luck reaching out to Sasha because Sasha has her own problems. And to reach out means to contact somebody on your own, usually somebody who you haven't seen in a long time. So you say reach out to your friends. It means, contact them because they probably need you.
Right. 那我们先看 unfortunately 这个副词代表不幸的、倒霉的，我们也可以用 unluckily 来说。那相反的，幸运的，我们可以说 fortunately 或是 luckily。那这边课文说到的是不幸的是，当 Elizabeth 她真的主动联系寻求协助的时候，她得知 Sasha 有自己的问题要解决。To reach out 是联系 ，to reach out to somebody 代表的是联系某人。So for example, you can reach out to me when you need help. 当你需要帮助的时候，你是可以联系我的。
So now let's see. Elizabeth asked her parents for help. Once they said no.
They refused.
Yeah, and then she asked Sasha for help, and Sasha's like, I got my own problems, girl.
Right. Deal with yours.
Yeah. Now Elizabeth doesn't know what to do.
现在呢 Elizabeth 不知道该怎么办才好。
She's in a really unfortunate situation. Aside from one last credit card, she's basically penniless and lacking friendship and meaning to her life. That's really sad. So aside from, it means if you don't think about this thing, if you put this thing aside, if you don't look at her last credit card, she's penniless. Now, penniless is an adjective that comes from penny, which is 1 cent in American money, and less, meaning nothing, meaning penniless. Penniless means you don't have any money to your name, you don't have a cent. And with all that debt, it's probably true. She probably has no actual money that she owns. If you owe people money, that's money you don't have. Even if your bank account says you have some, the other people you owe it to actually own it. Penniless means you're so poor that you have nothing left and nothing to start from. So an example sentence might be, after a business deal went bad, Marcus was left penniless and ended up on the streets when he couldn't pay his bills.
Aside from 代表的是除点点点以外，后面记得要加上名词或是 VING 哦。那课文中的意思是呢，除了点点点之外，其他都如何如何。它是将 aside from 后方的人事物排除在外的。同类的字呢或片语还有 apart from 或是 except。所以除了最后一张信用卡 Elizabeth 基本上是身无分文的，而且没有朋友，人生也没有意义。那另外呢 aside from 还可以表达的是除了什么以外还有别的东西，那是要将后方的人事物包含在内。For example, aside from a big burger, I had a hot dog and a sandwich for breakfast. 同类的字或片语还有 apart from, besides 或者是 in addition to。
Next, we see that it says the books she loves aren't helping.
好啦，所以她爱的书籍也没有办法帮她。
Yeah, so she doesn't know what to do. She has no one to help her. And in fact, her dream to live a life of literature appears to be destroying everything she's ever hoped for.
Oh.
That's very sad. So we have these two vocab words left. Appear. So to appear to verb means to seem like something is happening. This appears to be a big problem means it seems like this is a big problem. I think this must be a big problem. Appear means to look like. So it can also mean how something actually look. This dress appears blue, but it's actually black. That's an example. Another example of appears to seem. It appears that there is an accident on the road ahead. We should go a different way.
Appear 这个动词呢，在这边当作似乎好像来解释，那它有另外一个意思是出现。So for example, he appeared out of nowhere. 他不知道从哪里冒出来，这个就是出现的意思。相反，我们用的是 disappear.
All right, so it appeared to destroy her life. Destroy is a verb that means to break something completely and ruin it so it can't be put right again. Like if somebody took a bomb and blew up your life.
Yeah.
That's what Elizabeth feels like. She thinks her dream has stopped her from having a happy life and made things incredibly hard for her and her family. She doesn't see how she can ever get her life into a good place in the future. Now, you can also say to destroy somebody emotionally. It means to make them very, very sad, upset, devastated, so it's hard for them to keep living their life. And this is probably destroying her emotionally. I can imagine it's very, very hard. So an example sentence for destroy means watching his childhood love get married to someone else destroyed any hopes Fred had of being with her.
Destroy 这个动词毁坏、摧毁是很严重的哦。所以最后呢，课文说到，事实上，他想过着文学人生的梦，似乎正在摧毁他曾经希望的一切。So will she give up on her dream?
I don't know. I mean, I think that's for the readers of the book to know. It's a very sad situation, but maybe in the end she'll find some way out.
So you guys can think about that question.
So for now, that's the end of our article on the book Want. We'll see you for day 3 and talk more about why she's in this situation tomorrow. So for now, we're going to our For You chat.
For You chat.
All right, our For You chat question today. What do you do when you need to escape?
When I need to escape, I go to the gym. I work out at the gym.
Nice.
And afterwards, I'll feel relaxed, but at but tired at the same time.
Yeah.
But I'll be really happy because I'll have that sense of achievement.
Yeah.
Like I've done something.
Very good.
What about you?
When I need to escape, like when everything is just too much, I'll usually go play a video game.
打电动.
Yeah. Which, I don't do that all the time, but just when things are way too much.
Okay, which video game do you play?
Fall Guys?
Fall Guys.
Yeah. It's a fun like competition game. It's very cute.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna show me later.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so that's what I do. You guys probably have other examples of what you do when you need to escape.
I think they play video games too.
Maybe, but maybe you guys have other things too. You probably exercise too, just like Elsie does. All right, so we'll see you for day 3 tomorrow. But till then, bye-bye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review. Privilege. Norman has a lot of money, so he's treated with a lot of privilege wherever he goes. Wonder. Oliver wonders what he should do with his life once he quits his job. Grasp. Patricia found it hard to grasp many of her science topics at school, so she knew she'd never become a scientist. Penniless. Many homeless people are penniless and often struggle to buy enough food to live on. Appear. Rachel appears to be doing well at school, although it's hard to tell as she doesn't like to talk about school. Destroy. The entire city was destroyed during the war. It took many years to rebuild it.
智慧小补帖
Abandon. Unfortunately.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net